It is extremely important as a leader to lead effectively through anxiety. We've been living in this constantly changing, rapidly shifting world where the new is always happening. It shifts our mind from being anxious to being peaceful. It moves us from worry to hope. Wow. Unbelievable, incredible leadership insight. If you want to experience walking on water level leadership, you have to get out of the comfort zone of the boat. Do not lead from the anxiety. Lead with hope. Lead with vision, clarity. You will not fall. You cannot fall because you are relying on a God who does not fall.
This is The Deep Dive with Jose St. Fard.
Here's the truth. Anxiety is a part of life, and especially for leaders, it's the context in which we live. But today we're going to be talking about how faith can anchor us through anxious times and how we can lead with clarity, with courage, and with vision, even in uncertainty. Let's dive deep. If you're a leader, you don't have the luxury of avoiding anxiety, of avoiding uncertainty. The reality is that's our playground. That's where we live. As leaders, we're learning how to navigate through uncertainty, navigate through anxiety. And faith is the anchor you and I need in order to lead well. I want you to hear this, and I want you to listen to me, and I want you to receive this. Anxiety is not leadership failure. Just because you're dealing with anxiety and just because you might be anxious in anxious times is not a leadership failure. It's a natural response to the weight of responsibility that we carry as leaders. Leaders are managing the lives of people, managing the lives of those that carry leadership themselves as family members, as heads of households. And so the weight of responsibility is heavy. So anxiety isn't the problem. It's how we handle it. How we navigate it sets apart leaders from great leaders. Great leaders navigate anxiety incredibly well. They use uncertainty as opportunity. Peter Steinke writes, to lead means to have some command of our own anxiety and some capacity not to let other people's anxiety contaminate us. That is, not to allow their anxiety to affect our thinking, actions, and decisions. It is extremely important as a leader to learn how to navigate your anxiety, not just so you can feel good, but so that you can make better decisions. It is important to lead effectively through anxiety. So Paul, one of the leaders of the Christian movement, wrote this to leaders: do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. I want to say this again. So you're a leader, you're an entrepreneur, you're a CEO, you're an executive, you're a manager, you're a leader at home, you're a leader in schools, you're an educator. I want you to hear this. I want you to sit in this, in these words. This is what Paul writes: do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. So here it is. Our context is uncertainty. Our context is not knowing what's coming, not understanding the world that we live in. And lately, we've been living in this constantly changing, rapidly shifting world where the new is always happening. And it's often, it's almost challenging to really be able to predict what the future holds. And so here's the advice of Paul as a leader. He's saying, do not let anxiety anxiety, do not let uncertainty rule your mind. Don't be anxious about anything. That is, do not practice anxiety. But in every situation, when anxiety shows up, by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, present your request to God. That is, present your request to the one that can handle it. You cannot handle the weight of responsibility that is placed on you. You can't do it alone. Hear me, leader. Every leader needs a leader. Every leader needs a leader. And for leaders of faith, God is an incredible leader. And so Paul says, rely on God in times of uncertainty. Rely on faith in times of anxiety. Right there, Paul talks about this idea of with thanksgiving. That is, he talks about cultivating gratitude as a countermeasure towards anxiety, to think of what has gone right. When was the last time you felt this way? When was the last time it felt overwhelming? When was the last time it felt you wouldn't be able to get through this moment and you got through? Right, spend the time writing down the moments you've gotten through. Spend the time reflecting on what brought you through, and know that the same God who brought you through before will do it again. You are not leading alone. Here's a practical tip. Start each morning with gratitude. Think of how God brought you through last week, how in your leadership you navigated an issue that you didn't think you'd be able to navigate, and spend the time thanking God for those moments. And then what I want you to do is constantly remind yourself through the day that the God who brought you through yesterday will bring you through today. When we practice gratitude, it shifts our mind from being anxious to being peaceful. It moves us from worry to hope. It takes us away from a place of panic to a place of peace, which effectively helps us make better decisions. It helps us lead our people well. A lot of people hear this, do not be anxious about anything, and they think that Paul is saying, just forget the anxiety. Paul is saying, do not forget the anxiety, but reframe the anxiety. Instead of thinking how overwhelming this is, remind the issue how overwhelming your God is. That is, bring that anxiety to the forefront. Don't leave it in the back, causing you to constantly be thinking through. No, bring it to the forefront. Welcome it in. Say, hey, I hear you. What are you doing? What are you bringing to the table? Now bring that over to God. It says, present your request to God. That is, you must first name it, acknowledge the anxiety, acknowledge the fears, acknowledge the issues, acknowledge the concerns. It could be that you're having to deal with someone at work. You're having to deal with someone at home. You're having to navigate an issue. Well, acknowledge what are you feeling, name it, label the emotion. And when you're able to label that emotion, you can then bring it to God. You can't bring to God something you haven't acknowledged. So acknowledging your anxiety is a key step in bringing that anxiety to God. Here's what I want you to know. Uncertainty, anxiety is not a roadblock. It's a pathway to trusting God more. It's an opportunity for you as a leader, to now bring God into your leadership circle. One of the things as I led and I spent time leading through the COVID pandemic and leading through incredible uncertainty, one of the things that I always thought of was, man, every crisis is an opportunity. Every crisis is an opportunity. So reframe your anxiety to think of, okay, what are the opportunities present with this coming crisis? What are the opportunities present with this coming crisis? You see, faith allows us to see challenges as opportunities for growth. Faith allows us to see the things that are coming to destroy us, or destroy our business, or destroy our finances, or destroy some project that we have, as an opportunity to navigate it and overcome it and see it as an opportunity for growth. And here's why. Because Jesus, again, one of the most incredible leaders that ever lived, says, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Wow. Unbelievable. Incredible. incredible leadership insight. Just as saying, do not borrow from tomorrow's problems. Look at what's happening today. In other words, control the day. Today is the issue at hand, not tomorrow. And so many of us as leaders are trying to get a step ahead, trying to navigate the future from today. And we don't know everything. We don't have it all figured out. But often as leaders, we do not rely on what we've already seen today. Today already has treasures that we can pull from, that we can lead from, that we can make decisions out of. And so just saying, don't focus on what's happening tomorrow. Let tomorrow worry about itself. Instead, focus on today. Here's some examples. I want you to think about Moses crossing the Red Sea. I mean, Moses is this incredible leader. He's having to navigate the Israelites out of slavery into a land of their own. And here he is roadblocked. I mean, he's in front of the Red Sea and he has no clue what to do. I want you to think about this. What could he do? He could say, well, if I step into it, this is going to happen and that's going to happen. And I don't know what's going to do. He could just went nuts just thinking about all the possibilities of what tomorrow will bring. But instead, he leans in to what God has told him about today. God says, I am with you. Move forward. I am with you. You do not have to be afraid. And so he steps in. Peter is on the boat. And today he sees Jesus, his Lord, his leader, walking across the water. And he could think, oh, if I do that, what's going to happen tomorrow? What's going to happen? No, he doesn't. He just steps out of the boat. And here's the things, leaders. If you want to experience walking on water level leadership, you have to get out of the comfort zone of the boat. It's that simple. We've got to move away from the paralysis of worry and think about the paradigm of hope. And that idea is relying on the God who is with you today and knowing that if he's with you, then you can move forward. So here's what I want you to do. Here's a practical tip. I want you to think, what can I control? I can do what only I can do, and God will do what only he can do. God can handle it. He's just asking me to trust him. So what's the one next thing? What's the best next step I can make today? Isaiah, one of the leaders in the Israelite nation, a prophet, he said these words, so do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Here's what Isaiah is telling us to do as leaders. Do not lead from the anxiety. Lead with hope. Lead with vision, clarity. What has God shared with you about your company, your organization, your startup, your business, your family? What has God shared with you? Lead with that hope. Yes, it looks like things are crumbling away. Yes, it looks like things are falling apart. But you have to remember, the promises of God are because he is aware that things will not look like your promises. Listen, you don't make promises to things that are already there. Promises exist because there are realities that don't look like the promises. And so here it is. Do not worry. Why? Because I am with you. As a leader, one of the things that you have to worry about is how you show up for your people. Others are relying on you as a leader to know how to feel. If the leader is okay, everyone else is okay. One of my team members said to me one day, they were coming to me, they're part of our ministry group, and they said to me, Pastor, this vision you have is big. It's incredible. I don't know how you're going to pull it off, but I believe in the vision because you believe in it. I believe in a vision because you believe in it. There was another context. This lady was talking to me, and we were going through a lot of transitions in the church, and there were some things that were moving and things that were shifting. And I remember she said, I know we're okay because I see you're okay. As a leader, it is extremely important how you show up. And that's why you have to rely on the promises God has given you. Do not worry. I am with you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. That means you will not fall. You cannot fall because you are relying on a God who does not fall. That's what you have to remember. That's what you have to believe. And that's what you have to trust. Lead with vision. Lead with the idea that we will get through this. Things will get better. And this is not the end of our story. So what's our takeaway? 3 things. Number 1, acknowledge the anxiety. Don't let it define you. Bring it to God. 2, reframe your uncertainty as an opportunity to trust God. 3, lead with vision and inspire others through faith. So here's the question I have for you. What's one area of your leadership today where you need to surrender your anxiety to God? What's one thing that you need to ask God, what's my best next step? Don't worry about tomorrow and all the steps that will come after. Think about what is the best next thing I can do. That's what I want you to think about this week. So if today's episode has encouraged you, I want you to think about a leader that's navigating uncertainty, someone that will benefit from this episode. I want you to share it with them. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. If you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and share with us in the comments. What are some leadership principles that you're gathering that are encouraging you and helping you? And let us know about it. If you have any questions, we'd love to hear from you. You can check out my socials. Feel free to send me a message. Would love to hear from you. We want to get to know our audience and want to know who's listening to us on the other side. Hey, remember, I'm in your corner. I want you to win. I want the people around you to win. I want you to keep leading boldly. I want you to lead effectively. So let's keep diving deep together.
This is The Deep Dive with Jose St. Fard.